So, did you succeed? Let's now try it together. For that, I'll first of all copy that text field, which we had here for the title, and adjust it for my amount here by replacing the text with the text amount. The max length is actually not needed anymore, but I'll set the keyboard type parameter, which I showed you before, to input type or text input type number, like this. And of course, I also want to create a new controller here, an amount controller, which is also a text editing controller, and which also must be removed when we remove this widget. So here in this dispose method, which is called automatically by Flutter, when the widget is destroyed, I will use my amount controller and call dispose on that. Like this. And with that, Flutter will manage that value for us, at least as soon as we assign the amount controller here as a value for controller on the text field. And we can then use that here on this button down there to also output the amount controller text. Now please note that this will indeed be text, so a string value, even though a number is entered. If we want to treat it as a number and use it as a number, we'll have to convert it manually thereafter, but that's something we'll do later. For the moment, I'll just output it here, and I also want to make sure that this second button, which I mentioned, is shown here, and this will be a text button, where on pressed, I currently won't do anything. I just add an empty anonymous function here. And as a child, I'll set the text which should be displayed. And here that's simply cancel, which can be a constant piece of text. Now with that, we added the two things that should be added for this task. There's now just one additional thing I want to do to this text field, to this amount text field, which was not part of the task. So you're done, you're good. But there's one thing I want to do. In this input decoration object here, I want to set the prefix text property here to a $sign. And since this is this special character with this special meaning, I'll escape it by adding this backward slash in front of it. And I'm doing this here, followed by a white space, so that we always have this $sign in front of the amount field, because, well, in the end, it is a dollar amount that should be entered here. So that's some additional configuration to make sure that we tell the user which kind of value they are about to enter. With that, if we save this and we force a reload, if we open this modal overlay, we got these two buttons here at the bottom. That's great. The cancel button, of course, doesn't do anything, but we'll change this soon. But if I enter a value here in the title and here in the amount, that both works. And you also see how the keyboard changes because of this keyboard type that we set here on the second input field. We get this number optimized keyboard here, and we can therefore enter a number. And if I now click Save Expense here, this should both be stored. And indeed, if we take a look at the debug console, we can see both values here. So that's how we can add another input field here.